What do we have for Capricorn, please? Magician. Gemini, Virgo energy at the foundation of the reading. Okay, so the message I got right before I hit record is that there was a point in your life when you just wanted to get a win. You wanted to get a leg up. You wanted something great to happen for you because you wanted to show people, you wanted to prove to people that you had what it takes to get the job done. But now, this new timeline you're on, where I feel a lot of you are aligning with these blessings, these manifestations are actually coming to pass, well, you're at a point in your life where you no longer care about showing anyone that you have what it takes to get the job done. Because what you have uncovered is that the very people who you wanted to show that you had what it takes were the very people that were actually standing in your way of being able to manifest these things into your life to begin with. The Magician, right there at the root chakra, at the foundation of the reading, is speaking about what you have been doing behind the scenes. I feel that while people have been spending all their time plotting on your downfall, you've been planting seeds in the dark, in the quiet, when no one was watching. And I feel that these people thought that your silence meant some sort of surrender. A lot of you could have moved away, cut a lot of people out of your life. You retreated. And these individuals assumed that that was a kind of defeat. But what they didn't realize is that you were building, not for attention, not this time, but for ascension. And when you start to build for ascension and not attention, it's like everything just clicks into place, right? Like I mentioned on this previous timeline, you just wanted people to see that you were capable of something. But it was that very act that was keeping you from this all to begin with. Right on the bottom of the deck, wow. 6 of Swords, 8 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles. So 6 of Swords, Aquarius energy. Here you are moving away from something, right? You finally realized, see, it's like you have your inner child there with you. You're taking your inner child with you. This inner child represents you just wanting to show people that you were capable of something. And now you're moving on because you realized that was actually blocking you. 8 of Cups. Very similar energy to the 6 of Swords in that, well, the 6 of Swords is more a head over heart decision. And the 8 of Cups is more of a focus on emotion, right? So as gutting as this was, as painful as this was, you knew that this is what you had to do in order to 7 of Pentacles, earn this success, in order to actually profit from what it is that you were trying to manifest into your life. Queen of Swords, air energy. You had to be very honest with yourself, and this was one of the most painful things you've ever had to do. I always speak about this. It's that honesty. It's that realization of the truth, the illumination around who some of these people really were. That is the most painful thing that you will go through when it comes to this kind of ascension. What do we have? The sacral spirit? Ace of Cups. Water energy at the sacral. So now with this Ace of Cups, I feel that you are going towards what makes you happy, not what makes other people happy. And some of you may hear me say that and say, I only do what makes me happy. And I get it. I understand that. But sometimes we are programmed in such a way that it's just built into us to say, want to impress our parents, our authority, the people in and around our life, our friends since childhood, take it as it fits. But this is all what you are starting to realize, again, was standing directly in your way. This is a complete breakdown of a kind of matrix that you were living in inside of your reality. With this Ace of Cups, you're only focusing on what truly makes your heart sing. And it's right there at the sacral, which is all about your passion and creativity. If it doesn't make your soul light up, it's not worth your focus. And it's this exact ingredient that you are putting into all of this. I just heard this maneuver. Interesting. Makes sense, though, because it is kind of a way of maneuvering. But it's this kind of approach that is making all of this begin to materialize. And it's interesting because you've gotten to this point, or you are preparing to get to this point, where very few people, if any at all, from this previous timeline, from your family, your friends, whoever it may be for you, are anywhere to be found. The only reason why I'm actually being able to succeed at all of this is because these people cannot share in my wins, my success, right? Because there's something not right with them. There's something off with their vibration, the way they live their life. You could quite possibly jeopardize everything that you're working towards. And as we know, this is biblical. What God has for you, these individuals cannot share in with you. It's for you and you alone. These people showed you who they were, and you need to believe that. You've come from some pretty difficult circumstances here, and I feel that you've made up excuses for a lot of people as well. This is all a part of this path. We don't want to actually accept what the divine is showing us about these people. We think to ourselves, they couldn't actually be doing things without my knowledge behind my back to keep me from said manifestations. How could it be? I must be paranoid. I must be overthinking things. But all I can tell you is that once you finally arrive at this space, Cap, you see that your intuition was spot on the entire time. So for those of you who are still making your way through this portion of the journey, just know that if you are of a relatively healthy mind, body, and spirit, there's absolutely no reason why you cannot trust your intuition in regards to these individuals and what you may be dealing with. And then right on the bottom of the deck, the star and the tower. Okay, so you're coming up in the star energy, Aquarius energy. So the spotlight of your life, whatever this is you're trying to manifest, you actually make it. But it comes at a cost, not to you, but to these individuals here, right? Tower, Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy. So it's like this right here is the rebalancing of the scales. You go up and they come down like the tower. Your rise is their destruction. What do we have at the solar plexus, please, Spirit? Too many cards. What do we have at the solar plexus? Too many cards. Queen of Pentacles at the solar plexus. So here you are now, or this is what you're heading towards. You're in this very secure, very stable energy. The message I'm getting here with this Queen of Pentacles at the solar plexus is that you're starting to realize that there wasn't really a whole lot that you were doing wrong. It was all based on energetic influence. This is one of these situations where you start to change the way you're moving in and around your life. Again, you start to extract certain individuals out of your life. And all of a sudden, everything just kind of stabilizes. Everything's going smoother. And it forces you to really look at all of those common denominators that were in your life. And this is very telling to not only you, but also other people. These people can see it. It's a truth that they don't want to accept, which might be why they still continue to try and make your life difficult from behind the scenes. And there might be other people around these events that aren't directly connected to them that are kind of observing, right? Oh, where's Capricorn? We haven't heard from Cap in a really long time. Maybe these people are asking those people. And then all of a sudden they look you up and they see you're doing great. And it kind of puts a spotlight on those individuals that created all of these issues for you to begin with. It really is simple math. When you were in the equation, you struggled. You were down and out. You weren't able to get that success like you should have, whatever it may be for you. But now you subtract from that original equation, and there's breakthrough after breakthrough. You're back in the flow, or for some of you, you're in the flow for the first time ever. I just heard, do not, again, doubt your intuition. All right, so they've highlighted that message a couple of times here already. Okay, I feel that there's some things going on in your life right now, Cap, where you're not able to make sense of something that may be blocking you, something I just heard that's sticky in the energy. I feel that you are sensing something, you feel something in and around the energy. Now, there's two things going on here. One, you're starting to have this kind of illumination, who and what may be connected to this, but this is also a shifting of the energy. See, you're adjusting your direction. You're realigning with the actual flow of your life. You're no longer going against the grain, which is what you may have been doing without even really knowing it when you had this influence in your life. Further confirmations. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. So here you are, right? You're only going after what truly makes your soul light up, what makes you happy. And boom, Ace of Pentacles. This is the divine helping you with something. The divine's like, yes, that's right. You've worked it out. We're going to go ahead and unlock this Ace of Pentacles for you. And once you start to see movement, once you start to feel movement, once you start to feel supported by the universe, you begin to gain perspective. Hangman. You start to look at all these people from this different perspective. And you're like, oh, well, LB, I didn't see it before. I didn't realize it was all of you that was holding me back. I'm winning now. And none of you are around. What does that say about you? What does that say about what you were bringing into my life? Ten of Swords. And that's what it leads to. It's over. So we saw that Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, which is telling me it hasn't shown up yet. It's in the energy. That's what's coming towards you. So the message with that is you need to make sure that this is what you're going after. What makes you happy, not anybody else. Okay? That never works out. Because what makes you happy, what makes your soul light up, is what the divine placed inside of you. Those true heart's desires are all connected to your path and what you came here to do. And you're going to meet people on your path who try to tell you otherwise. Nah, don't do that. That's never going to work out for you. Come this way. Do this. Do that. All the while, you've completely lost focus on what it was that was gifted to you by God Himself before you even incarnated here. They're trying to disrupt the divine order and flow in your life. Two of Cups, Cancer energy in reverse at the heart. Wow. That really follows what I just said, because the Two of Cups in reverse, well, the Two of Cups upright is speaking about some sort of offer. It's a proposal. But in reverse here, compounded with the message I'm getting here, it's a bad offer. It's something that is not in alignment with your highest good. It's a disruption in the energetic field for you. You know, this could really represent, for the sake of example, it's a toxic romantic partner, somebody who comes into your life that is sent by the devil himself, right, to throw you off your path. And I feel that this person also comes in cloaked, wrapped in everything that you like, which makes it feel even more like a spiritual connection. Pay attention to those kinds of people, because I feel that what you are actually going through in your life right now, right, this awakening, this ascension, you have a more potent connection with the divine. People can pick up on this. You know, we want to be trusting. We want to be accepting. We want to be open. But one of the hard realities of what you're going through here, Cap, is that you need to use discernment and protect yourself. But having said that as well, it's very difficult to use discernment when this is all new territory for you. So all I can say is just be careful. Do not allow people to attach themselves to your energy during this crucial transition in your life. It is simply not worth it. You risk sacrificing all of the work that you have put into yourself to get to this very moment. I can't tell you, Cap, how many people tried to enter into my life under the guise of them thinking that I'm their soulmate, that I'm their twin flame. It's overwhelming. And It's almost insulting to my intelligence at this point because I can see this coming from a mile away. But it's really surprising at how much it begins to increase the further you go down your path. You know, there's a presence out there inside the collective that can feel us all shifting. It can feel when we cut those energetic cords that these entities use to nourish themselves with. It creates major disruptions in the field. And the more you make your way down that path, the more you're going to see it. You know, this is very clear what's going on here, okay? Here you are, full manifestation mode, and boom, all of a sudden they come along, right? You finally gotten the pentacle, right? The manifestation. You're sitting in this throne yourself. You did it on your own. And then this energy comes along. Oh, hey. Oh, that's a nice pentacle you got there. You know, I think we're soulmates. I think you're my twin flame. You know, and this can be tempting. Because you best believe that when they show up, they look good. They look real good. They sound good. They say all the right things. They make it seem that your souls were split in two from the spark of the Big Bang, right? Cap, there's also something else you need to know here that I'm hearing, and I heard some messages relating to this before the reading as well. You got to move in silence, okay? Now and always. Evil eye is a very real thing. Do not allow people to be able to track your moves. In this world we live in right now, because of social media and just everybody knows where everybody is and what everybody's doing in every single moment of the day, no matter where you're going, don't add more to this, okay? Never, ever be loud about your wins. Keep it to yourself and your loved ones only. There's no point. Because remember what we said at the beginning of the reading. You don't care that these people know you're capable anymore. But there's no point giving anybody who's not in your life information about what's going on with you personally. You get a new car, you keep it to yourself. You win $1 million, you keep it to yourself. You buy a new house, you keep it to yourself, and you never give anyone your address. And by God, Cap, if you're single and someone new comes into your life, don't post it all over social media. Keep it to yourself, okay? Now, I understand everything is circumstantial, so you all take that where it makes the most sense for you and your current path. What do we have at the throat, please? Whew. 7 of Swords at the throat. Okay, so the 7 of Swords, Aquarius energy, just followed what I said perfectly. The 7 of Swords is all about individuals doing things behind your back. It's a very sneaky kind of energy, very underhanded energy. And it also speaks about an energy that wants to bring disruptions into your life, but also wants to do it from behind some sort of disguise, behind a curtain, just a way where you can't see it, right? Again, it's very sneaky. You know, in some cases, especially with the fact that it's sitting right there at the throat chakra, this could be different forms of word witchery, okay? Just people using the tongue to speak wickedness into your life. That's a form of black magic. Shifting the public narrative around your life. Influencing other energies to see or think about you in a certain way. You know, there's many layers to this and it's going to be different for everybody, but it's coming up here for a very specific reason. Now's not a time to be messy. Now's the time to really lock it down, okay? And that can also be a message to make sure that any energetic leaks around your life have been patched up. Probably the simplest way I can put all of that is really just double checking your security, okay? What information is available for people to find on you? Things like this. I just heard batten down the hatches, okay? And that's not to say that a storm is coming. It's to say you should always be prepared for a storm, whether it's coming or not. And again, look, this is just the world we live in, okay? And I feel that when you move this way, when you truly figure out how to protect yourself, all of that comes with peace, right? It just becomes second nature to implement all of these things. We live in a very technologically advanced world, and there's a lot of really, really bad people out there that want to stop people like you and people like me from advancing any further. Because in their mind, we oppose a kind of threat. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because I feel that you just want to live in peace. You just want to be successful in what it is that you do. You want to have a nice life. But these days, it's those exact things that people dedicate their entire life to making sure that you won't get. And then right on the bottom of the deck, Hermit. Okay, so again, this is really adding to this message here, okay? You know, Hermit is all about solitude. But I feel that the way it connects to this message is, well, I'm talking about being very private, right? And Hermit is obviously a very private energy. It's like this is what you need to implement into your life. This is the space that you need to function from right now. Three of Wands. There's this whole, 10 of Wands. 5 of Cups. Emperor. Yeah, there's this whole energy here. I just heard moving your base, moving your foundation. This could speak metaphorically for a lot of you. It could be literal as well. But I'm speaking more of the energy. You know, okay, I'm hearing you have a responsibility here with what you're manifesting, and you need to protect it at all costs. And this is going to take a full reconstruction of your life from the ground up, the way you do everything, as a means to accommodate this manifestation that's coming into your life. Okay, that came out of nowhere. Yeah, on the bottom of this deck, we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so here's this manifestation, this new beginning. Queen of Swords, being very honest with yourself about this as well. And see the eagles taking flight back there. We just saw the eagle on the bottom of the other deck on the Three of Wands. Yeah, right there, right? Preparation. Judgment. So there's the rebirth, exactly like I just said, and the rebalancing. Queen of Pentacles. There's so much connective energy here. We're seeing a lot of the same cards from different decks. Yeah, the rebalancing. Ooh, I just heard the rebalancing before the takedown, right? The takedown is that tower. You need to move out of the way of the tower. King of Swords, air energy in reverse at the third eye. I'm getting a very reactive energy in regards to the moves that you are making here, Cap. The King of Swords at the third eye. Somebody is trying to stop you from seeing something. The King of Swords is a very cruel, very overbearing kind of energy, and they'll use manipulation and abuse in different forms. Swords can speak about your mentals. It can also speak about communication. But it's like this energy realizes, I just heard the King of Swords in reverse comes out of the shadows when he or she realizes that their minions were not able to get the job done. I just heard they're the head of the snake. This goes back to what I mentioned earlier on in the reading about these energies feeling you cutting those cords, right? The cords that they use to nourish themselves off of your energy and your light. And when that happens, it's like the parasite, right? The entity surfaces, it comes out. It's like, what's happened? I've lost my supply. It really gives like a hive, right? And all the workers in the hive, they fail. Maybe they get plucked off. And now the main entity of that hive has to come out for its survival, has to show itself. And I feel this King of Swords is going to use some sort of manipulative tactics, mental warfare is what I'm getting here, especially at that third eye position. They're going to use these tactics as a means to defeat you. But the only thing that would allow them to defeat you, Cap, is if you allow their gaslighting, which the King of Swords is a master at, to get to you, okay? Where you stand right now, you can't unsee what you have seen, but the King of Swords thinks that he can get you to unsee everything that you have seen. Your best bet in this situation is to not even be in the presence of this individual, whoever this represents for you, because they're not somebody that is necessarily easily defeated. They just need to be avoided, sort of like the devil. Us ascending and us stepping into our power doesn't mean that we've defeated the devil and destroyed him forever. It just means that we have succeeded in not allowing his tactics to affect us anymore, because those tactics can't actually do anything to us. It's us that allows that mental warfare to get to us, which leads to us self-sabotaging, right? See, the devil tries to get in your head, tries to scare you, tries to instill fear, like this King of Swords. I mean, this King of Swords is just an extension of the devil. Maybe they're the devil in your life. There's many devils. So again, it is not your job to defeat this person. It is your job to focus on your path and ignore this person. They cannot harm you unless you let them. And the way you let them is by way of self-sabotage. Unbelievable. Okay, Two of Swords. So it's like, here you are, right? Blindfolded here. And I feel that this is representing this opposing force and the divine, right? The divine is saying to you, okay, come on. It's time to decide. What's it going to be? Are you going to come with us and start this new life cycle? Or are you going to go back to this energy? Are you going to waste your time trying to face off with this energy? And for a lot of you, you know, because this is connected to probably family, friends, things like this, there's emotions attached to it. The Two of Swords is an energy where you have to make a head over heart decision, right? The swords representing the mind, the head, the water representing the emotions. You have to turn your back to the emotions, right? Justice is blind. Libra energy. This is you basically coming to the conclusion that despite who they may have been in your life, this is what they did. These are the facts, and I cannot allow this to continue any further. Because look what you have waiting for you. The Star and the Magician again. But see this Magician? You're facing us now, right? See this one right here? It's like we're a fly on the wall looking into the future, right? This is future you. You're not there yet. And look, here you are just bathing underneath the stars, right? In the spotlight of your life. This is you on the other side. But it's all connected to this decision. What do we have at the crown, please, Spirit? Wow. Four of Cups. So look, there you are, right? Pouring out that cup. You're like, I know better. I'm not dealing with that. And look, see how the black cloud that they put over your life is now just taken off, right? The skies are clearing because you have made the head over heart decision. You're pouring out any sort of emotions connected to this, and you're implementing this new outlook, this new direction. And boom, Wheel of Fortune right there on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so now the wheel turns. Look, the devil's right on the bottom of the wheel. And this Wheel of Fortune is representing the new timeline that you're preparing to step into. Cancer energy with that Four of Cups. So this entire energy here is really speaking about how important it is to set your emotions aside, to set your feelings aside. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's going to take some healing to get over this, but you cannot allow any of that to dictate your moves moving forward any further when it comes to this situation, these people, however this shows up for you. What do we have at the foundation, please, Spirit? Too many cards. Empress in its shadow polarity at the foundation of the reading. Now, we're getting under the surface here, and we're starting to get a confirmation in regards to that illumination around who the common denominators were in your life. This is an energy here that was working to block you creatively. It's an energy that wanted you to feel like you needed them. It's an energy that wanted you to think that nothing that you could ever actually manifest into this world would be of any use to anybody else. And I'm here to tell you that if you're just starting out on this path and you feel that way, and people have gone out of their way to make you feel that way, take a step back and think about that, please. Because that right there is a clear indication that those exact things that they are trying to convince you of are the exact things that you are capable of. What do we have at the sacral, please, Spirit? Four of Wands, Aries energy at the sacral. Yeah, the Four of Wands from this deck is speaking about you needing to quite possibly transition on from a certain space. For some people, it could speak about moving out or leaving home. It really depends on what your circumstances are here. But this is also a huge part of what it is you're trying to manifest. You know, when you ask the divine for guidance, when you are on your hands and knees begging to be shown some sort of truth around your life in regards to what you came here to do, you better prepare yourself for what you will be shown, because it will come to you. And 100% of the time, what the divine shows you that you need to do is by no means comfortable. In fact, they're going to make you as uncomfortable as possible, because it's inside that comfort where the lack of growth and stagnancy exists. They need to get you out of that certain kind of hell that you may have been living in without even fully realizing it until you have removed yourself from it. They want to turn you into a warrior, the warrior version of you. This is what this is all about. You become your own hero. This is when those things you hear about, right? Becoming the chosen one, becoming the black sheep, becoming a warrior of the light. This is when these things actually come true. They're all kinds of metaphors for a specific path that you're all guided to. The chosen one is an individual that accepts the mission to break their family lineage out of certain karmic cycles. And this does not by any way, shape, or form mean that you are going to be seen as the hero by those family members. Oh no, quite the opposite. They're going to see you as the enemy because they couldn't do it themselves, and this is highly threatening to people. They feel slighted by your growth. They don't understand what you're doing. They just don't get it. They're limited in their thinking. And it's when you progress down this path for a long enough period of time that you start to realize that you are a kind of soldier of the light. You are bringing light to the world by fighting your own spiritual battle. See, we're in a war here, far more advanced than the typical kind of war that we're all used to seeing. This is of the spiritual kind. We can't even see who the enemy is. It's like there's this, well, it's a complex matrix that has been constructed around all of our lives. Each one of us is tasked with making our way through these complex structures, spiritually speaking, unlocking hidden doorways within ourselves, gaining higher knowledge by treading through paths and spaces that no one in our family lineage who came before us has ever discovered. What do we have at the solar plexus, please, Spirit? Wow. Unbelievable. The magician again. But this magician's very different. Look who decided to show up to the party, huh? Baphomet. See, what you start to realize is when you go down this path, when you accept the mission, when you break away from the course that all of these individuals expected you to stay on and have been working day in and day out to make sure that you never, ever break free of, this lovely creature begins to surface from the depths, right? I feel like this is also representing this King of Swords. This could be the same energy, the same individual. But the magician from this deck, again, is an energy of manipulation, right? You sure you want to do that? Wait. Hold on there, Cap. You sure you want to do that? You plan this out right? I don't think you're capable of doing this. This is an energy that is going to use any means necessary to stop you from progressing any further. And this magician is in direct opposition to this magician. This is magician in its shadow, okay? So the exact gifts that you have been given to share with the collective, however that shows up for you, this individual tries to flip and use against you. To simplify that, it's basically you saying, okay, I'm going to do this. I know this is what I'm supposed to do, right? And then this individual coming along, whoever this is, no, you'll never pull that off, right? You're not good enough for that. All of that, right? They use manipulation tactics that are in direct opposition with this increase in your self-confidence to go after this, right? See, right there at the solar plexus, which is all connected to your self-confidence, that's what they're attacking. They're trying to pull you back down into a space that you have already graduated on from. So they're going to use very complex forms of gaslighting, right? They're going to really try to get in your head because this energy here knows you, right? They're going to use everything they know against you to stop you. They're going to hit you where it hurts or where they think it hurts, but it doesn't hurt anymore because you are making head over heart decisions now. You're not allowing your emotions to be dictated by this individual any longer. And for some of you, Four of Cups again, but this is read a lot differently. This Four of Cups, it could be an energy of them coming in under the guise of wanting to support you, right? But the support they give you is still not this, right? They give you just enough to keep you from this. So what I'm getting here, it's like somebody coming through trying to offer you something that basically replaces the manifestation, right? They make it look like they're doing you a favor, like they're doing something to support you and help you on your path. But Queen of Swords, it's all a lie, right? Queen of Swords is the pathological liar. They're coming through looking like there's something they are not, right? It's a donkey holding up peacock feathers. I mean, who's ever seen that, right? Knight of Swords. Okay, so this is an energy that's very sneaky. Let's switch decks. What do we have at the heart, please, Spirit? Page of Pentacles, Earth energy at the heart, red in its shadow. Okay, so this Page of Pentacles here is, again, really reinforcing the message we're getting here. This is an energy that speaks about you missing some sort of opportunity. It can also speak about this energy promising you something, but then they don't give it to you, right? So it could just be speaking further about the message of them trying to say and do whatever they have to stop you from going any further down this path. But I'm also hearing the way you know that this energy is desperate is if they themselves show up, right? Like I mentioned, the head of the snake. It's like the devil sending all his minions out into the field and they all fail at the mission that they have been assigned. So the devil gets mad and he just says, I'll take care of it myself. And he shows up. Just know that however that shows up for you, obviously, metaphorically speaking, that's your sign that they're hanging by a thread. And then we have the Hangman on this side of the card, Pisces energy. Now, this Hangman is speaking about this perspective that we're trying to get you to gain here. Okay, we saw the Hangman on the bottom of one of these other decks earlier on, but now it's actually coming out. Okay, so before it came out, this is the divine trying to get you to gain perspective, and now this is you actually gaining perspective. So this is that moment when you say to yourself, wow, everything that my intuition was telling me has literally come to pass. And look, see how the angel is blowing the horn at this Two of Cups, okay? So there's another message there, right? Again, be careful of who tries to come into your life right now. Okay, I just heard this is an interesting message. Don't ever think you're in the clear. Okay? Again, the whole goal here is to get to a point where you can live in peace. But live in peace, but always be ready. Don't ever let them catch you slipping. Just make it a part of your everyday life. Once you do this for a long enough period of time, it just becomes second nature. You don't even really have to think about it anymore. Nine of Swords, Gemini energy at the throat. Now, something else that you need to understand here, Cap, is that though you have protection here, the protection is only effective if you're actually listening to the guidance, if you're actually moving away from these energies. A lot of people get this wrong. You know, we hear this term, all weapons that form against me will not prosper, right? And it's just something that people throw around without even thinking about what this means. But this statement is reserved for people who are actually listening to the guidance. The divine is saying, okay, this is what you got to do. You got to get on this path. Once you're on this path, then we can protect you. Okay, because you're showing us that you want us to protect you. But if you're staying in these cycles with these individuals, whatever this is for you, you're telling us that you want to be there. Okay, so we can't protect you from those attacks. In fact, it wouldn't make sense to protect you from those attacks because then we're just protecting you in staying there. It makes more sense to allow the attacks to happen so you want to get away from there. Okay? Very important to understand this. And this is what I'm getting with the Nine of Swords here. Okay, it's like here you are, here's this little demon cherub, okay, and then here's your guides, right? Swatting them off, protecting you. It says right there, protection from the impious. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? Whew. Seven of Wands, Leo energy at the third eye. Liberation, deliverance from enemies, both visible and invisible. Okay, I just got a really loud ringing in my ear when this came out as well. So I feel that this is really confirming what I'm saying about your protection here, okay? You need to take a stand for yourself. You need to push back against this system of control that has been placed in your life and charge towards this new beginning. You are protected in doing so. See, on one hand, you have the divine saying, okay, come on, let's go, we've got you. And then on the other hand, you have all of these energies saying, no, you'll never pull it off. You need to stay here with us. You're not good enough. All these things, right? They're trying to make you feel discouraged and just like you want to give up. Don't let them get inside your head. And then right on the bottom of the deck, there's that justice card, okay? The scales tipping. And remember, justice is blind, right? I don't care who this is. Don't judge them by who they are to you. Judge them by the way they treat you. What do we have for the crown to close out the reading, please, Spirit? Eight of Wands, perfect. Sag energy at the crown. So the Eight of Wands here is now telling us that you're moving very quickly towards this new beginning. There's major changes that are going to begin to unfold in your life once you understand how these energies are moving around your life, okay? I feel for a lot of you, Cap, you guys are really trying to decode some certain events that are taking place in your life. But the one thing that is going to allow you to do this is you actually paying attention to your intuition, listening to your intuition at this time. Like I got earlier on in the reading, there's no reason why you cannot trust it if you are of a healthy mind, body, and spirit. So look for the signs, look for the synchronicities. And I just heard look for the oddities. Okay. All right, Cap. Well, this is what I have for you. Now, if you would like to support my channel, there are a few ways that you can go about doing this. Of course, donations are always greatly appreciated, and I would like to express my gratitude for all of you people who continue to donate to my channel. Another way you can support me is by joining the membership section of my channel. It's only $2.99 a month, and I upload additional readings there. You can also visit my online store, where I've just recently added a bunch of new items that I've created myself that I think a lot of you will really enjoy, so check that out. And of course, you can book a personal reading with me and all that information can be found down below. And lastly, I would like to know if this reading resonated with you, so please drop me a heart and or a comment, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.